Hello everyone, we got a great beginner Procreate Dreams tutorial for you today that will take your animations to the next level. Okay, so let's get started. Let's move on over into Procreate and I'll show you what I have got drawn up. So we've got this little spider here on a string. Now it's going to be important to group your items together the proper way, so I'm going to kind of go over that. If you already know how to do all this, you could probably skip this part. But anyway, here's what I want to explain to you. So in our upper level group, we're going to group everything together because I want this thing to move as a group. Okay? And then all of the other things that are going to be also moving need to be on their own separate layers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this spider drop down. He's going to swing back and forth, which is all going to be done in the first top layer group. Everything's going to be moving together. All right. So that's why I grouped all of the artwork together. Let me show you the layers I've got here. So you can see I've just got body and legs. All right. And it's in a group. So if I open up that group, now you can see we have the eyes, we have the body, we have the web on their own separate layers. And then we have the spider legs, which are grouped up within our main group. And if we open those up, each leg is on its own separate layer because they are going to be moving independently of each other. All right. So let me close those legs to kind of clean things up just a bit. So the body is not going to be moving and the web is not going to be moving either. So in theory, I could have put those on the same layer, but I thought that just for simplicity and to avoid any mistakes down the line, I would put those on their own separate layer. You'll never go wrong by putting everything on different layers. It just might be a little bit complicated when you start moving things around, what items need to be together and what items don't need to be together. So for example, let's say that I didn't group my eyes and my spider body together. All right, so when he drops down and he starts swinging, I'm going to have to animate that body, and then I'm going to have to try to match those eyes to be on the body and animate those separately, which is really a hassle. So if I group them together into one group, I can move them both at the same time and they'll stay together the whole time. So that's kind of how things work. So it's kind of like nesting. So you group everything, all of your assets into one group, and then you have other smaller groups within that main group that we animate independently of each other. And this will all make sense once we get over into Procreate Dreams and start showing you how we're going to animate this all. One more thing, if you'd like to get these assets to all of my videos on 2 websites or 2 YouTube channels, which is this one you're on right now, which is Chamo Does Art. I have another channel. If you haven't subscribed to that one, please do so. It's called Scribble and Scribe. I'll put the name of the channel on the screen right now. So if you join the Patreon, you'll get the assets for both YouTube channels, so you can play around with it. Now, the Chamo Does Art is basically digital art using Procreate and Procreate Dreams animation, and the Scribble and Scribe is using basically traditional materials, paints and stuff like that. We got some new stuff coming up over on that channel that you might be interested in, so go check that out. We have some bookbinding stuff and doing artwork for book covers and stuff like that. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, go check that out also. And if you're interested in getting the assets, check out the Patreon. Link will be on the screen right now. All right, so let's move over into Procreate Dreams. To start a new file in Procreate Dreams, we're going to click on the plus in the top right corner here. All right, here you're able to scroll through all of the sizes that you might want to make for other types of social media, Instagram, whatever it might be. I'm going to stick with the tried and true widescreen for YouTube. We're going to hit it empty, and there we go. We're ready to go. Now, we need to change up a few things. So if you click on the title right there, which is Dreams 15, Dreams and a number, yours will be probably Dreams and another number, unless you've renamed it to something else. So the first thing we want to do is go to the very top section. Mine's the star right there. We're going to change our frames per second. So click on it. We're going to change it to 12 frames per second, which is your traditional frame by frame animation. The next thing we're going to do is change the duration of the animation. I only want it for 7 seconds. The 1 minute mark right there, you're going to have to click on it and hit the backspace to get rid of that so you don't have a 1 minute and 7 second animation. That's going to be way too long. All right, so hit done. Here we are. We got 12 frames per second, a 7 second animation in 1920 by 1080 HD. Hit done. We're ready to go. There's our stage. Now we need to move our Procreate assets over into Procreate Dreams, and I'll show you how I like to do that. So go back into Procreate, go into Gallery View, and then hold down on it, and don't pick up your finger until you move it around like that. Get out of Procreate, go back into Dreams, and let up your finger, and it will import all of the items in there. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is I want to use 3 fingers and stretch my timeline out. Now this is not going to make your animation any longer than the 7 seconds we already set it. This basically just opens it up so we're able to see it a little bit better. All right, the next thing we need to do is we need to long press on our file, because right now it's just a picture. If I put play right now, there's nothing going to happen because a flat picture file does not move. All right, so long press on it and click on the convert layers to tracks. Now you can see what that's done is it's created a group. Now if we open up that group, clicking on that little arrow, there are all the layers that we had over in Procreate, here now in Procreate Dreams. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I need to change my background. I don't want a white background. So if you click on the numbers here, which is how long your animation is, you can see it brings up the onion skin information, and we want to change the background colors. Click on it, and then let's move it maybe to maybe a light blue color. Let me see what I want here. About right there, that's a good, I think. And then click out of it, and there we go. We set our background color. Okay, so I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start the spider in its beginning position, and we're going to do that within the main group itself. So I'm going to close that group again, where it's just that main body and legs group. And we're going to click on it and hit move and move in scale. Now we need to move our spider to where we want the animation to begin. So I want him to begin up here. Now you can see everything moves together. All right, and that's because we've grouped all of our assets together into one big group. All right, so we're going to start him towards the top right there. That is going to be his beginning position. So when the animation starts, he's going to start right there. All right, and then maybe we want him to sit there and look at you for half a second, quarter of a second, half, I don't know, just come over a little bit and click on it again. All right, and what that's doing is now we've got the spider in the same position on both of those keyframes right there, so that means he's not going to move at all, and that's going to give us that little pause before he starts to do anything. All right, the next thing we want to do is come over a little bit longer, and now he's going to move, so we're going to click on it again, and we're going to have him drop down. Okay, and I want to make sure that the web right there doesn't come off of the screen, so we want it to remain on the screen. So about right there, I'd say. All right, so what he's going to do is he's going to sit there for a second, and then he's going to drop down, which is exactly what we wanted. All right, and now what we're going to do is we're going to have him swing back and forth. Okay, so we're going to come over just a little bit. We're going to click on it again. All right, and now what we need to do is we need to click on our 3 little dots up here in the top, and if he disappears, you can just touch it again. And we need to edit our anchor point. So if you click on edit your anchor point, you'll get this little plus sign right there. What that's going to do is it's going to be the hook of where the animation moves from, and we want it to be at the top right there where the web is. So we're going to move that plus right at the top. So if we want this thing to start swinging and rotating, it's going to rotate from that point where our plus is at. So if we put it down here, that means if we rotate it, that web is going to rotate back and forth, and the spider is pretty much going to stay in the same place. We don't want that to happen. So we want to put it right up there at the top. That way the web's going to stay kind of in that point right there, but the spider is going to move back and forth. Okay, hit done. And now we're ready to animate him. So what we're going to do is click on a corner. You get that little curve line right there, which is our rotation line. Now, be aware in Procreate Dreams, if you do not have your finger in the correct position, it's going to do something strange, like it's going to either move the spider, it's going to resize it, or it's going to do something you don't want done. Keep in mind that Procreate Dreams works just like Procreate does, and if you two-finger touch it, it will undo that last thing. So if you make a mistake, just two-finger tap it, undo it, and then try it again. So okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to click on it to get that little point, that little curve, and we're going to rotate them up just like that. All right, just like that. That's what we wanted, okay? And then we're going to come bring our little playhead over to the right. We're going to click on it again, click on a corner, get that curve mark, and now we're going to rotate them back to the other side. Okay, and then we're going to do it again. Rotate him back to the other side. And maybe one more time. All right, and then we're going to have him come back down to this middle. About right there. All right, let's see what that looks like. Down, spins, and stops. So that's kind of fast. And I can see right now we've only done 3 seconds of an animation, so I would probably like to do that and make it last a little bit longer. So what we can do is we can take these keyframes and we can long press on them and we can move them independently of each other. So I'm going to take this last one, I'm going to hold it down, I'm going to slide it over here, maybe do about 5 seconds. And we're going to take this next one and slide it over, and we're going to try to keep a bigger gap than we had last time. And you can move these things anytime, anywhere you want them. Let's see what that animation looks like now that we've moved them out a bit. Yeah, that's much better. Yeah, I like it. Okay, so that's much better. Now, when he comes down, it's a little quick. So what I'm going to do is slide this one out a bit. So if you're enjoying the content, I have a small favor to ask that makes a huge difference. Subscribing to my channel is like giving a virtual high five, and it means the world to me. When you hit that subscribe button, you're not just supporting the channel, you're joining an incredible community of awesome people who love art just as much as you do. Imagine being part of something bigger where every view, like, and comment helps us grow and reach more awesome folks just like you. Plus, subscribing is super easy. It's just one click, but that one click has a ripple effect, helping me create more content, bringing new ideas to life, and spreading positivity all around. And hey, in the spirit of kindness, how about this? Subscribe and then go out and do something nice for someone today. Hold the door open for a stranger, leave a kind note for a coworker, or simply smile at someone who looks like they need it. Let's make the world a bit brighter together. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and let's make amazing things happen. Thank you for your support. You're the reason this channel exists. There we go. Couldn't get any more perfect than that. Okay, so swing, 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 and back to the middle. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to have him go back up to the top. So we don't want him to stop swinging and then immediately go up. So we're going to, again, come over a little bit, and we're not going to move it. So with that, between that keyframe and that keyframe, he's just going to be there. So we're just going to pause him a little bit, and then from this point, we're going to put him back up. About like that. Okay, let's see what that all looks like now. Down, swing, and then back up. That is perfect. Okay, so that is our first part of our animation. Now we need to start moving these things that are inside of our main group. So I think what we're going to do first is probably move those legs. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up our body and legs group. And then we have our eyes, our body, our web, and our spider legs. The spider legs is where we need to go. So it's, again, another group that is nested into our main group. So we're going to open it up, and now we have all of those legs. And I didn't name them because it would just be leg 1, leg 2, leg 3, so it doesn't really matter. So I just got them as layer 10, 11, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, whatever. All right, so we're just going to move them just a little bit, not much actually. All right, so we're going to go to that first leg right there, and then it highlights whichever one we're on. And we're going to set our initial move and move and scale keyframe. All right, and we can, all right, we'll start moving him after he starts moving. So we're going to bring it down until he starts moving, and we're going to click on another one. We're not going to move it. All right, so it's going to stay in the same position between that keyframe and that keyframe. Now we're going to move it. So we're going to just bring it over. There's no rhyme or reason to this. Just bring it out some. And then we're going to, again, make this a little bit bigger. Just pinch out. And we're going to click on our three little dots. We need to move our anchor points back to where the body's at, because that's where the leg's going to be rotating from. Hit done each time. Click on it, get that little curve mark, and we're going to make it move down like this. And then we're going to come over just a little bit more. We're going to click on it again, and then we're just going to make it move back up. And then the same thing, come over some more. No rhyme, no reason to it. No specific time frame. Just make them move. Oops, see? There is a key point right there where I say if you don't have your finger in the right position, it'll do weird things. So it just moved the leg completely. So I'm going to two-finger untap that. Click on that keyframe again to get that curve. Nope, it did it again. Two-finger undo it. There we go. Moved him back up. And then maybe we'll do one more. Just like that. That's it. So if I showed you that, let's see what the leg looks like. You're probably not going to notice it that much. A little bit. All right, that's it. We're going to do that for all of the legs. I'm not sure if I'll show you all of this. Maybe let's show you one more. And then after that, all the other ones are basically going to be the same thing. Now, one thing I want to tell you is probably don't put them in the same places. Stagger them. That way they won't all uniformly all be moving at the same time. All right, so we want them to be moving independently of each other. So what I'm going to do is go up to that layer number 10 now. We're going to set our initial keyframe. Move and scale. All right, and we're not going to do anything with it. And then maybe right here again. I didn't do it exactly the same place the other one's at. I'm going to bring it over to about right here. All right, we need to set our anchor point to the body. That's good. Hit done. And then it did not rotate. There we go. And you can see they're not matching. So that keyframe was here. This one was kind of in the middle of those two. This one's going to be in the middle. So it doesn't like make it so uniformed. Maybe we'll go up. And we just want them to kind of be twitching a little bit. Again, there's no rhyme or reason to this. Just move them a little bit. Maybe one more. That's good. All right, so that is the second one done. You know what to do now, so I'm going to fast forward through all of these, and we'll pick back up after I finish all of these. Okay, guys, we're back. I've got all the legs animated. Let's do the eyes next. So we're going to close that leg group so it will be a little bit neater. So spider legs closed. All the legs within those are all animated. And we're going to go to our eyes next here. Okay, so we want him to blink now. Now I'll show you, I've shown many previous videos how I like to do the blinking animation. But again, I'll show you once again. So what we're going to do is we're going to have him drop down a little bit, probably maybe about right here. Now what I want to do is I want to start a new track on top of my eyes. So make sure your eye track is selected. Click on your plus and hit track. What it's going to do is going to start a new track on top of your eyes, which is basically blank. So it's not going to do anything right now. Next thing we want to do is we want to go into drawing mode. So drawing mode is that little squiggly line right there. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to click on our color here. We want to go to a pure black. So I'm just going to move that down in the bottom left corner, which is a pure black. And then what we're going to do is we're going to draw through the eyes, maybe about halfway. About that much. And then we're going to come over one frame, and we're going to go all the way through all of them. All right, and then the next frame, it's going to disappear, and it's going to open back up, which is going to be a blinking. So blink. Just like that. That easy to do. All right, so hit done. You can see that blink. All right, so we want him to do it again. So remember, the eyes are attached to the body that's swinging, so they are going to remain in their position. So they're going to be swinging, but they're going to be animating within that main group. So we're going to blink him again about right here. So we're going to go back into drawing mode again, and we're going to draw through the eyes, maybe about halfway, and then come one frame over. We're going to cover them all up, and then they're going to pop back open completely. Right there. So we got it. Blink, blink. Okay, we're going to come over again. Maybe let's make him do a couple of quick blinks now. All right, so I'm going to draw through half of it, and then through all of it. Then we're going to come over and we're going to do it again. Half of it. One frame over. Through all of it. All right, so that's a couple of blink, blink, two times real quickly. All right, and then come over again. We're going to do it one more time. Maybe we make this one a little bit slower this time. So we're going to go through a quarter of him. Now we're going to go through half of him. And now the third one, we're going to go all the way. That's going to make it a little bit slower. It's 3 frames this time. All right. And then maybe we'll do a quick blink here. One frame over, and then we'll go all the way through them. It's going to pop back up. All right. And I think he's going to go up now. All right. And then up here, we're going to have him blink maybe a couple times again. So let's go through half, one frame over, through all of it. And then maybe one more time. We'll make this a fast one too. So all the way through them, one frame over, cover them up, and then it'll pop back open. All right, that's perfect. Hit done. I think that's all the blinking I'm going to do for right now. But I want to do one more thing. I kind of thought of something just now that might be kind of funny. Let's click on one of those covering of the eyes up, and now we're going to hit the plus mark again, and we're going to add one more track above it. All right, so when he goes back to the top, so about right there, we're going to have his tongue poke out. So about right here. All right, let's go into drawing mode and click on that black color, and let's do like a kind of a pinkish color. And then let's make a little tongue coming out. One frame over, we'll make it stick out a little bit more. All right, that's good. Let's let that tongue stay out a bit. So we're going to stretch this guy out a couple of frames. And then we'll make it go back up. And then it's going to disappear. All right. All right, guys, and that is going to do it. Very easy animation today, but shows you what you're able to do with just a little bit of animation. Make something really interesting. So having said that, I will leave the final animation at the end of the video as I usually do. Again, if you're interested in getting the assets, go check out the Patreon. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. We're trying to get to 3,000 by the end of this month, and only you can make that happen. And we will see you guys next week for another Procreate or Procreate Dreams tutorial. Take care.